Five, four, three. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of Super Hype Train. We are live and we are on Twitch and we are ready to go for episode 2. We're talking about E3 2017, the second half of it. We've got a few conferences to talk about. I'm Wilco and to my somewhere is Sammy. How you going, Sammy?
Hello. I'm going alright.
You going good? You had a good week?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yes. I want to let everyone else talk as well.
Okay, so Daniel, welcome Daniel to the podcast for the first time.
Hi everyone.
How you going?
Hi, Daniel.
Quickly,
Hi.
you're from the Soap podcast?
That's correct. The slightly offensive Australian podcast. We talk general games, general topics, things like that. We've been going for 10 episodes now and going strong.
Excellent.
Make sure you give us a follow.
You should, very much should. And we've got Benny live from Melbourne. How you going, Benny, with your beautiful, beautiful beanie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Brings out his eyes.
It does.
I'm hyped. I'm ready for another episode. Let's get going. I'm ready to wing this shit. Let's do it.
That's it. For those playing at home, we do not have a run sheet because I've been focusing on other things tonight. We will have one next week, though. I'd like to welcome Alex and Andrew from a couple of NPCs. How you going?
Yeah, the boys.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on?
It's good. First time we've ever had two people on one mic on any episode I've ever recorded, so this should be fun.
We share a lot of things, so it's totally fine.
I can see.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Yes, that's exactly right. So, we've got an action-packed episode to talk about this week anyway, so let's get straight into it. We are covering 4 conferences this week. There was the PC Gaming Show, which we'll go to in a sec, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo Direct. Now, wow, that PC Gaming Show, I think Sammy was the only one to actually watch it. So, Sammy, tell people how exciting it was and all the riveting things that you came out of that.
So, the word that was cycling through my head as I was watching this was interminable. Oh my god, I've heard so many times, the PC gaming thing, it's so boring, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god. I don't know if it was part of another conference, but there was stuff there was a 15-minute trivia quiz in the middle of the stream for no reason. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the spies bomb and whatever. And the only thing that I was vaguely interested in was PlayerUnknown's Battleground. That was also terrible because they had a trailer while they were trying to interview the guy. So I don't know. In terms of games though, XCOM 2 looked okay. Wonderland Dreams, okay. War Groove, okay. The only thing that I was particularly interested by was this little isometric kind of Legend of Zelda-y thing called Tunic. And it's by the people who made Night in the Woods. So, that was good. The rest was just oh, God.
I think you forgot something very important there, mate.
The big one.
Yeah. Age of Empires.
That's
Coming
it.
back.
Yeah, blah. Not my thing.
Well,
Well, the
getting
majority of
Free
them
and
were not
cornflakes
my
packets
thing.
again.
I'll be blunt.
One of the greatest games of all time is not your thing. Fair enough. That's okay.
Yeah, whatever. Not my thing.
20-year anniversary and they're redoing it and making it look pretty. And it's in October, I think they said something about that. So, I like this is what it used to look like, and then they panned to this is what it actually looks like now. Looked pretty
New
sweet.
soundtrack.
New soundtrack indeed. And they're actually talking about changing the gameplay, which I'm a little bit worried about, but that happens over 20
They were
years.
updating it and there was the new expansion for it, which is kind of crazy that after all this time they're going to do another expansion.
That's it. They've done that recently with another PC game from way back in the day as well. I can't remember what it was though, which I shouldn't bring up on the podcast because I don't have the info. You're excited about this, Benny? You're pretty pumped?
I am, because I want another free copy of it in a cornflakes packet. I don't know, it's cool. I like RTS games. We're getting StarCraft remastered. We're getting Age of Empires remastered.
The rumour fresh off the
Command &
press is we might even be getting Warcraft 3 remaster as well.
Or
So-
Diablo 2.
Or Diablo 2. Or both, I would prefer.
yeah.
But anyway.
Hopefully
What
both.
about Warcraft 1? Because Warcraft 3 you can still kind of play these days, but Warcraft 1
No, you can't. So
doesn't.
No, you
doesn't
can't
happen.
play it all.
that'd be good. And they don't.
If you get Warcraft 2 running.
Yeah, they don't want to bring out a new RTS at all. They're happy expanding on StarCraft 2. They're not even going to venture, so at least it's better than nothing. But I watched the Warcraft movie last night actually, and I actually got a little bit of I want to play a Warcraft game, but not World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does that to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, oh gee, this looks. Yeah, what the movie was. Yeah, but yeah, it got me the feels for the game
Yeah,
again.
but it's
So
bad
Yeah, it's like
in a lot
little
of
bits and
ways.
pieces from the games that you loved. You're just
Yeah.
like, ooh.
that's why I don't want to watch the Assassin's Creed movie because then I'll probably want to try
No,
and play an
don't,
Assassin's Creed
no,
game.
no, 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 no.
Probably better than Pixels. I mean,
Oh no, that was on.
I never thought that I would say this, but the movie is worse than the games.
Oh. The games were good to anyway. That's a whole thing. Hold on, that's a good segue. Let's go into Ubisoft because PC gaming we spent way too long on. Don't ever watch one.
Assassin's Creed.
It's weird that the biggest gaming market has the worst conference. So, but anyway, it's always has
Yeah.
been. So
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I was listening to Rooster Teeth's Glitch Please today,
yep,
and they brought up the topic about PC gaming's not really there at E3 anymore.
nah,
Yeah.
We don't need
Really-
to be.
Well, that too, but all the games for PC are on console anyway, so they go to the big console events because that's going to get the most publicity.
yep.
Yeah.
So that's why they do it, because no one's really.
It's a bigger
not many
market.
people watch the PC one,
And
I
if
just
they,
find it kind of sad.
except
I
for
just
Sam.
find it kind of sad because we have, PC gaming. The thing that I love so much about it is it's so big, crazy, different, diverse, and yet the press conference is, RTS, MMO, trading card games, which is a shame
We're
because I
just
don't have
giving
an
all the
interest in really
consoles
any
a
of those.
spotlight.
that's it. It's like even if Valve just turned around and said, "Here, we're doing a 2-day thing. This is all the Steam games coming out in the next 3-4 months that we know of."
Steam's flooded though.
Yeah, I know that's the biggest problem.
but
Things
you
just
could
appear.
pull some stuff out to show diversity.
But I think Benny's got a point though. There's not a lot of PC exclusives anymore that aren't indie sort of
No.
titles. But
Not AAA's that are PC exclusives, not anymore.
no, but and they end up coming to console within 6 to 8 months anyway. Like the Microsoft conference we talked about last week was just here's the old
Hell,
PC
Diablo
games you've
3
already
was
played.
on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. But let's go on to the Ubisoft. Like I said, we spent too much time on PC gaming for what it was. Sammy, we'll start at you again. What do you think overall of the actual Ubisoft conference?
I thought it was actually pretty good. I do miss that we no longer have Aisha Taylor with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were some okay games. I thought Transference and Starlink, all right. Good games though, Skull and Bones, Far Cry 5, and oh my god, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Very excited
Yes.
for those.
I think we can spend
And
an
also
hour
All
on
the-
about
that.
them
hell-
bones, bro.
Yeah, and apparently BB Roxa sang and had the worst lyrics in a song like I've ever heard. So there's that.
We'll go to a couple of NPCs next. What do you think of Ubisoft and overall of their conference?
All right, so we very frequently shit on Ubisoft mainly because of Assassin's Creed and my hate for them.
Yep.
But I was actually quite pleasantly surprised at the Ubisoft conference, mainly because I kind of tuned out whenever the Assassin's Creed part came on. But
Yep.
Far Cry 5 and Skull and Bones looks so good.
Yeah. Did you jump on and,
Like the
sign up for?
I really dig the was it Loot Hunt, the PvP part
Yep.
of the Skull and Bones.
Yep. Did you jump
It looks
on
so
and?
good. It looks like super serious Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
So that's
No.
the impression I got.
I thought it was almost like a World of Warships if you've ever played that, but with pirate ships, which was awesome. But did you jump on and do the beta sign up straight away? Because that's what I did.
Yes, you're damn right I did.
Benny, overall impressions of Ubisoft.
The Rabbids Mario thing was pretty cringy at the start.
Oh, it's terrible.
No.
Mario Rabbids, I need that in my life.
It looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of
I
fun,
know, I was
but
thinking
it
about
just seemed
pirates.
that the whole thing just was really cringy right at the start with
Oh, yeah.
The guns.
Ys. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, the rest of the conference was actually pretty decent. It was the one conference I was actually looking forward to the most, but what I was looking forward to didn't happen. I wanted
Yep.
Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell didn't turn up.
Rest in peace, Splinter Cell. Anyway.
So I was pretty disappointed in that regard, but South Park, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like Ubisoft had a pretty good time because the bar wasn't set too high after Bethesda and PC gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Definitely.
Yes.
Well, even with EA as well, like there was all the third parties had pretty much missed
There's
for the
nothing,
show, so they didn't have to do much. But all they had to do was have Aisha Taylor, but not go for 2.5 hours, and they didn't have Aisha Taylor, but they didn't go for 2.5 hours. So they hit that sweet spot, I guess, sort of thing. Dan, what was your thoughts, Ubisoft overall?
The problem I found with all of E3 in general was that so much information had already come out prior to it.
Mm-hmm.
So watching a lot of things, Ubisoft with Far Cry 5, I didn't really feel that excited because I'd already seen so much already.
Yep.
And I
But
felt
here's the thing with that. Like, I understand that we heard about a lot of the titles coming up, but we finally got to see like footage and we got more information of some of these titles. So that's what I was kind of excited about. I was like, well, like I didn't care about Mario Rabbids, and I saw it and I'm like, I hate myself for wanting this game so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
But,
yeah, go.
yeah, I thought they were pretty good. I'm not an Assassin's Creed hater, so I thought that the change in the series was going to be quite a good thing, and maybe it brings in the people that didn't like it before. And you don't see any of the Animus stuff in any of that stuff. So.
Yeah, they held that pretty much. Then I don't know whether they're actually going to do that. Do you think they're going to do
Exactly.
Well, this is supposed to be like the beginning of everything, so maybe we see the beginning of the Templars as well as the Brotherhood.
that? I'd assume so. But yeah, I've got questions about that game, but I won't go into it too much right now because we're going to focus the whole episode to that down the track.
You
so.
mean that $800 edition question? Or?
No,
150.
yeah, Australian. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway,
Much.
any
I
other
wouldn't
thoughts?
Buy it at $80. Why am I going to spend 800?
But yeah, I mean, there was some cool stuff in there. Seeing the crew too in that. I didn't play the first one, but it still managed to give a little bit of interest in that with it. And Beyond Good and Evil, just the quality of that. I don't know what to expect from the actual game being a prequel to the 2003 game, but it looked great, and that made me want to find out more. And that's what I think E3 is about. Not so much showing off all the details, but making you want to find out more details.
Yeah, definitely.
And Beyond Good and Evil did that for me.
Well,
Yeah.
I know I want to know more about Bionic Commando Monkey.
Anyone played Beyond Good and Evil 1? Because it's one of those ones that sort of got missed by a lot
It was
of people.
Beyond me.
It's actually backwards compatible.
Is
with
it?
the 360. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
type?
was
Yeah,
going through my Xbox library literally last night and was like, oh, I must have got that one for free during the Games with Gold at one point.
yeah. Because I don't even know what type of
might
game
go
it
back
was
and
to
play
play it, so I don't
It
think
is a
it.
different game.
Yeah, that's what I was
like
thinking.
Stealth or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
just remember it being kind of an adventure game, but my memory's fuzzy on it.
Okay,
Yep,
well,
it's still in my Steam, waiting to be played. I'll
It's
have to
on
get
my
into
list
that
as well.
sometime soon.
well, we've had a look at Ubisoft overall, but we'll start at the beginning, which was Rabbids versus Mario Kingdom battle. Now, did anyone else get an XCOM 2 sort of feel from the
Yeah.
battles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The turn-based stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When the Ubisoft guys approached Miyamoto said, "I'll let you guys use the Mario franchise if you make a Mario game that has never been made before," and they did it. So
Well, that's
The Mario game that's never been made before.
Yeah, that's it. So I just wouldn't have thought that this is the direction they're going to go, especially with the way it started. It was, the hub world and looked like it was going to be a platforming game with some kind of weird attribute, and then all of a sudden there's these battles, and I'm like, hold on, this is quite good. This is quite interesting.
And the tactics looks really good. The way that you can use, you can launch people in the air to get over obstacles and reposition characters, and each character has an ability.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm down.
even the flanking and the cover system and stuff was all really good. Sammy, is this one of you have you got a Switch yet or not?
Oh, yeah, I've got a Switch. It's
And you're getting this in August when it comes out?
probably not when it comes out, but what I will say is I went from what the hell, really? Why would you put these two things together to, I don't know, it's all right. So I'll be looking into stuff,
Yep.
but it's not an instant sell. Not
Do you
at
reckon,
all.
do you reckon they'll do a
Not
demo
for
of
me.
it like they've been doing with a few other games with the Switch?
I mean, if there was a demo of it, yeah, I'd jump right on that and, we'll
I think
go
that's
from there.
I think that's the best way for them to sell it, to be honest. But
Yeah.
we'll see where that goes. Dan, what's your
And
thoughts
it's
on the
not
Rabbids
gameplay, really.
attacking Mario or saving the day?
It was weird. This is the first Mario with a gun, if I heard
Yes,
correctly. Is
yes,
that
it
right?
is. Yep.
That's a pretty big moment for Mario, I think. That
Well, he is
alone
American.
has
He's
to
got his
be
big boy
worth.
pants on.
He has.
Yeah,
He's
Been
starting to grow up.
drinking
From
and ordering hookers.
he's moved on from mushrooms to guns. So
Yes, he
Mushrooms
is.
to cocaine.
Have you got a Switch at all, Dan, or not?
no. Back in the day, 64s and that, I love Nintendo. After the GameCube and that, though, I kind of fell off. Jumped on for the Wii, but it didn't hold me there for long.
Oh, there you go. It's not going to make you buy a Switch, though, is it? It's not the
No,
system seller.
definitely
No. Come on, Benny. What your deep thoughts on Rabbids?
Deep thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Real deep there.
that's it.
Deep.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Just
Like a
that's
kiddie pool.
nothing at all.
Yes.
you've only got the Wii U, haven't you? That's
I've actually borrowed a Switch at the moment, so I've been playing Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart on it, getting amongst it.
well, that's good to see. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
but,
look,
I've got a Wii U. I haven't. That's the only Nintendo I've ever had since '64. So
okay.
yeah.
I enjoyed it and I love the combat of it, like I said before. So the thing that surprised me is it's been 3 years in development. I don't know whether the Switch has been 3 years or more in development, so whether this was going to be a Wii U title or not, or this was very much at the start of the Switch's conception. I'm not sure, but
Well, it makes sense if it was a Wii U title, because imagine using the tactics on the actual Wii U.
yeah, no, definitely.
Handheld
Yeah.
part.
So I don't know. It's
Takes it away.
it's interesting. Look, it was the worst way to start the presentation. It was absolutely.
I actually was pleasantly surprised. So
When Miyamoto walked out, I got excited, but then the talking.
Well, you had two people who couldn't speak English very well trying to have an English conversation, and then he just switched from English to Japanese, and I'm just like, oh,
I feel like that's always a good time when two people can't speak English really well and they're just trying to talk, but they can't understand each other properly.
oh, you've played Pug
It's
before.
like sitcom material.
Just happy they didn't start with Just Dance again.
Oh,
Oh, God damn.
can we skip? We're not going to talk about Just Dance because that was probably the low point. Besides, look, maybe
Oh,
the
that
South
was my
Park.
highlight.
I zoned out with Just Dance, and then they had the South Park mobile game, which I completely missed because I was still trying to get back into the presentation. But and then Starlink, that was very weak, that section. But anyway,
You mean No Man's Skylanders?
yeah. Did they not hear that games with toys or whatever, Toys to Life is dead? But and on your controller, like
Clearly not.
hold on. Yeah. Anyway, look, Assassin's Creed. It's happening. We got to see. Did you watch the 30-minute gameplay trailer part of it at the end? Did you hang around for that? No.
Look, I saw Assassin's Creed and I kept scrolling. I just went
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Look, I tried to watch some of the gameplay, and he lets the line out like Far Cry, where you shoot the cage and the line comes out, and you set things on fire, and it looked like
Was
Far
there more
Cry.
magic homing arrows?
No, I didn't see any of them because I only got 10 minutes into the half-hour thing, and I just went, nope, I'm done.
Well, you got further than I did.
Look, w-
I've never bought an Assassin's Creed game, and I'm not going to start with this one.
if I could be bothered moving my
That's 'cause you're smart.
I've got Black Flag statue. I've got 1 and 2 statues over there, or maybe 2 and 3 statues over there actually. But that's where I fell off. I got 2, 3, and
See-
4. That's it.
You know the game is fundamentally flawed. I'll put it nicely. When like I love pirates, I'm all about the pirates, and I was like, all right, I'll give Black Flag a go. I don't like Assassin's Creed. I'll play some Black Flag, and I got it. I jumped in. 5 minutes later, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I don't love pirates that much.
I'm interested, but yeah, we'll see what happens. They've got to sell me on it again. And there's a lot of things like the homing arrow that's just weird. But anyway, so Dan, you liked the Crew 2? You thought it was pretty interesting?
I was interested by what they were showing, but like I said, I haven't played the first one. It's one of those games that's always on sale, and I'm always like, oh, should I? And I'm like, if I have to weigh up time versus how many games I got to play, the Crew's just not making it. So once again, open to the Crew 2, but it's probably well down the list.
Yeah, definitely. So it's bringing flight, it's bringing boats, and it's bikes into it. I played the first one. I played it for a good couple of hours, and the driving just was terrible on the controller.
Right.
It was a good idea, but just didn't work. Did any other guys interested in the Crew 2 at all? No, shaking
Like
heads.
trailer, and then I realized it was the crew, and I was like, oh, it's not surreal stuff at all.
No.
Give
I-
that the old yeah, nah.
I don't know why there was a race and there was a plane crop dusting the cars in like a proper F1 race. So it was just, yeah.
Piss off.
It did lose
not?
me, and I wasn't that excited about it, but we'll see. So as we said, South Park. Everyone's excited about South Park. Did they show
Yeah,
anything
damn
new?
right.
Yeah.
That was just, hey, it definitely is happening October. What do
Yeah.
we got? Something or other, 19th, 10th, 12th,
See,
13th.
and I'm
It's
happy
like
with
it's
that.
pushback.
Yeah.
Like,
As
I'm
long as it
happy that
actually
they're like,
comes out.
we know everybody's hyped for it. We know it's going to be good because Stick of Truth was great.
Yeah.
So they're just like, we'll just give you a nice little trailer and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. I'm already going to buy it, so I don't even need the trailer.
Well, that's it.
Well, there's already a petition to ban it in Australia, so
Of course there is. Can I ask the grounds on that? Because I haven't seen that story yet.
it's on news.com.au. So go have a look and
What?
just once again, it's not for kids. If you're a responsible parent, you're not giving it to your kids.
No.
We've got an R18 plus rating for a reason.
Well,
so,
there's the problem right there.
You know, I don't understand why so many things get banned in this country when we have an R18 rating now.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah, like South Park
Probably not as
would have
bad
been
as the whole Far
Makes
Cry
sense to me.
5 thing.
But
Yeah.
it's video game. Video games are for kids.
It's.
lol.
I think that what their issue is the fact that it's cartoon, so it's kids are going to be appealing to it, and it's the worst.
Have they not seen
Yeah,
Rick and
because
Morty?
South Park,
That's
the
it.
TV show, is so appealing for kids.
Yeah.
Fucking wankers.
Anyway, so we had Transference. We had Skull and Bones. I want to talk some more about Skull and Bones.
You're
Now,
goddamn right. Let's go. Let's talk.
this is so good. I'm so hyped for this, and it's not out till next year. It was probably my highlight of the whole Ubisoft presentation, actually. So it's a shared world. So Sea of Thieves, but with real graphics, like real graphics. So
Real graphics.
it's made by the guys who did the Black Flag pirate sailing. So the actual
It's pretty much Black Flag 2 without the Assassin's Creed slapped on.
That
exactly.
sounds like a win for me.
It is.
Yeah.
Now,
The ship combat in Black Flag is good.
yeah. So this is you're gonna have to use the winds and everything to your advantage. You've actually got to put some thought into it rather than just point there, click there, shoot that. I love the Kraken at the end, by the way. Did you guys enjoy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he came up on stage and he said, "Oh, it won't be just the players that you'll need to worry about," and then it's panned out, and this is just
Yeah.
Kraken that's 3, 5, 10 times the size of the ship. It was awesome.
Tell you what. Does that make Sea of Thieves
Oh.
crack-a-lackin'?
I,
Uh,
as soon as I saw it, I thought that
Kraken.
That's
hurts.
the third time I've heard that.
yeah.
Yes, it's
From
a bad
your
joke.
mouth.
But honestly, what are your thoughts on Sea of Thieves now we're seeing this? Sea of Thieves is just a different type of shared world. and
I think they just got different places. I feel like
Yeah.
Skull and Bones is more of a hardcore PvP kind of game, whereas
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is like really super fun, happy pirate adventure, yay!
Yeah. I can see more people streaming Sea of Thieves, and I can see
Yes,
more people
yes.
just playing Skull and Bones. So
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
From all reports from the floor, and this might just because Skull and Bones didn't have a lot of gameplay for people to actually play on the floor. Everyone's pretty still hyped for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Everyone walks away from that game saying, "Yep, I get it. I want to play this game.
'Cause
It's fucking fun."
I guess Skull and Bones 2, you're just doing the one ship, and with Sea of Thieves, you've got 7 or 8 people doing the one ship. So someone's actually firing the cannon, someone's up looking out, and someone's patching the
Yeah.
stuff. So I guess they are 2 very different markets. So hopefully,
I'm actually kind of worried that Skull and Bones might suffer with whatever happened to For Honor, because that game fucking died.
Yeah, it tanked.
well, being a shared world, if it doesn't have the servers right and it doesn't get the matchmaking and all that kind of stuff right, then it's going to have
So
issues
it all
like
comes
that.
down to if Ubisoft have learned their lesson.
Yeah, no. They probably
Probably not.
their conferences are getting shorter, which is a good thing. So they are learning slowly. But
But they
then
got rid of Aisha Taylor, so they're failing.
she'd been doing it for what, 5, 6, 7 years now. It'd been perfect.
A few
Like,
years, yeah. Well, she didn't say Ladywood, and that was a disappointment.
So, any other thoughts on Skull and Bones before I have to move on to the lesser titles? No? Okay. So we had the weak point, Just Dance 2, the stupid controller thing.
Dab Panda.
Did anyone play
Don't matter
Steep?
who you are, just love you the way I are.
Did anyone play Steep originally? No?
I
Snowboarding?
played the beta. I
But
played the beta.
Yeah.
I saw
I
you
grew up
post a
with
lot of videos.
1080 snowboarding, so I wanted it, but the prices were just too steep. So
Yeah. The expansion looks pretty cool, but I played a lot of Steep and I enjoyed it. And I was talking to someone today, I was a Commodore 64 boy, so I played winter games like till like just end of day. So anything that comes out that's a Winter Olympics type thing, sign me up. So it looks pretty good. December 5th, that'll be interesting. But the two big ones. Let's go. Far Cry 5. Dan, were you happy with what you saw?
yeah,
The actual gameplay? No, Dan.
I enjoy Far Cry as a series. 2 probably wasn't a big one for me, but the rest of them were all good in their own way. The games have had a good amount of change when needed, keeping it fresh and that kind of thing. I like the story. I like the setting. So far I like everything I've seen with Far Cry 5, but it's one of those things you wait to get a bit closer. We've seen games like Mass Effect and that burn us before. So hopefully what we're seeing now is everything we're going to get in the game and not just the pre-part of the package.
Yeah, definitely. It was the first time we've seen gameplay, I believe. So, boys, come on. I know you're excited. Talk to me about Far Cry 5. Come on.
all right. So I didn't play Far Cry Primal because Far Cry
Why would
Primal.
you?
But it looked really good. It was like everything that I've loved from the other Far Cry games, and just it looks so cool. And the fact that you get like a dog, you get a dog, and he like fetches guns. That's the dog that I want.
10 out of 10.
So like
10 out
Fallout.
of 10 gun fetching dog.
That's it. So,
It looks good. It looks good. And the fact that you can have like you can post like one of your sniper buddies on the roof, and you'd be like, yeah, kill that guy, and then
it's the
Yeah,
first
I'm
co-op Far Cry as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
also gonna be like a character creation, so
Yeah.
it's going to be good. So, Benny, you're a big fan of Wildlands. Are you excited about them bringing the co-op side to Far Cry?
Oh, I'm keen to give the game a crack. I think I said a couple of weeks ago on USM when I visited you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did that, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it sounded really cool. I like the idea of the story and everything like that for the game. So the co-op could be really cool too. Plus, it's starring Brendan 8-Bit.
Yes. Oh.
But isn't he in Horizon?
He's in that too, yeah.
So is the whole story about someone who forces people to eat mashed potato? Is that what it is? And he's anti that?
Something about mashed potato and hatred of Frasier causes him to go start a cult.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Sammy, are you a Far Cry fan? Tell us deep
I
down.
actually am. Well, the thing is, I really like with shooters having, a truly kind of open world experience where you can kind of have your own strategies and everything. And I actually loved Far Cry 3, and I kind of skipped on Far Cry 4 because it seemed like pretty much the same game.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like that Far Cry 5 at least feels a bit, more different from the previous entries. So, and yeah, I mean, they showed some great stuff here. The dog fetches AK-47s, 10 out of 10. I mean,
That's
pretty
it.
simple.
There's a little
Very
side note here I'll just throw out there. It's in Montana. Is that where it is?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Dinosaur capital of America. So if there's a primal version of Far Cry 5, sign me up for dinosaurs coming to life. That'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Craig the T-Rex is
Yeah, that's what he said. Brendan's in it.
Yeah, that's it. So, beyond Good and Evil 2, we touched on at the start how it looks amazing. It looks amazing, and it looks amazing. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Let me know.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's a cinematic so far. That's all we really know, isn't it? So
Yeah, I heard
we
it.
talked a little
We
bit
have a
about
swearing
what it's
monkey.
like, but we haven't actually seen anything gameplay-wise.
No, that's it. So, we assume it's something
Cool
that. Yeah, cool, very cool trailer. But we assume it's probably going to be traveling the galaxy looking for things as a merchant kind of mercenary type thing.
From what I read, it's basically you create a character and you're on the ship with the characters that they showed on that ship, and you're traversing the galaxies looking for whatever they're looking for.
He did
So
say.
you create your own custom character.
I did hear one
It's
of
a
the.
prequel to
Yeah,
Beyond the
prequel.
Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did hear an interview with the guy afterwards that was saying that sequence where you're on the flying bike and one was shooting backwards and one was driving forwards, you can play that in the game. So someone will actually be in part of the driving and one will be on the back shooting. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But apparently solo or co-op the game, yeah, looks pretty fun. So 2019, 2020, maybe, I don't know. So, but it's happening. It's been 15, 20 years since the first one, or 13 years since the first one, or something. So, yeah. That wraps up Ubisoft. That was a fairly good conference overall. So, happy to move on to Sony, which we'll start with Benny. Come on, what's your overall opinions of Sony?
That's a good conference. I mean, wasn't a hell of a lot new shown, but I'm not complaining because it was quick. It was over in what?
It was an hour.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I thought I did go. I only go for that long. Okay, I thought it felt like an hour.
Yeah, it was pretty short. Obviously DLC for Horizon, the new Uncharted game they're making. Yeah, it all looks pretty cool. God of War probably is the one that's the most interesting to me.
Yeah, it was a standout. Couple of MPs.
Because of the beard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Alex and Andrew, what were your thoughts on the overall Sony press conference?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like a lot of games I'm looking forward to. Like
He wants Dad of War.
yeah, Dad of War. Dad God of War. What do you guys think
It's about
of
the beard.
Detroit Beyond Human?
Oh, look, I love it.
Pretty
I've
cool.
got issues with that.
No, you don't. Don't tell me that, otherwise
Yes, I
you're
do.
off. Booted. You have no issues with that at all.
I do.
The only issue is I want it now.
Yeah. We'll go into that
I
in a
was-
bit
I
more
was actually
detail.
going to
Death later.
Like-
Keep going.
I'm very iffy with God of War, but I'm really keen because this one's diving into Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And because at the end, the world serpent comes in. What's his name? Jormungandr or something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I want to help you. And it's like, oh my god, are you going to start Ragnarok?
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more in a sec. But any other thoughts on the
Yep,
Sony conference?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
I'm just a sucker for like Uncharted and Horizon, so.
Yeah, true. I was expecting a little bit more on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but
Yeah, that
they
just-
sort of kind of. I mean, they gave me a little bit, but they didn't really deliver that much. If you know what I mean.
Yep.
Also, the character models looked kind of bleh.
Does it ever
From what
really
I hear, the
look that
gameplay's
much?
amazing, but it looks like trash.
Yeah.
It's like if you took a big shit, but there was a gold nugget in the middle.
That's fair.
Digging through that.
Okay, Dan,
Example.
what's your thoughts on Sony overall?
I thought there was a lot of quality with the Sony one. The games that they're releasing, God of War, Uncharted with Claudia Black. You can never have enough of that. More Horizon Zero Dawn. That's one of the biggest games this year. To see more of that, perfect. Days Gone. We've been waiting for more details since last E3, so good to see more of that. And then Until Dawn had 2 related games to it, I think, in that. So that was pretty big as well. So I thought there was lots of quality. Oh, and Spider-Man, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
So-
amazing.
Spider-Man Arkham Knight.
Oh, here we
I
go.
thought-
Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, sorry, Dan.
But yeah,
go.
I thought Sony had the best conference out of them all. I thought it was the big win if
Yep.
we were going to have one. I don't think E3 as an overall was as big as past years, but out of them all, I thought Sony won.
I'll talk about that at the end because I think that's an interesting part of what is happening this year with such a big lineup of games this year, and then they're saying, "Oh, but we've got these other little games coming out next year." But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Sammy, overall, Sony.
I thought they did pretty well. I did think there were some points that felt a little bit, overly theatrical, but Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, wasn't necessarily excited, kinda excited about it now. And Shadow of the Colossus, Marvel vs. Capcom, Hidden Agenda, and Spider-Man all looked really cool. And I'm excited about it, and I now need to buy a PlayStation 4.
Yes, you do.
So there's that.
That is it. So, look, I agree with Dan. I think this was the best conference overall. It just flowed a lot better than the rest. It still had its bad points in the VR section. I think they could have just ripped that out, especially trying
It's
to...
because they didn't mess around. They were just like, here's
Yeah.
a bunch of games, and they just showed us the good shit. There was none of
That
this
was it.
Yeah.
crappy like,
But what about Devolver though?
We talked about Devolver. We've done that, been there, done that. But look, standouts were Monster Hunter World for me, Shadow of the Colossus,
Yep.
and Final Fantasy 15 Fishing. That blew me away. And it was so good. Detroit Become Human and obviously Spider-Man. So let's go into a little bit more detail. Does anyone want to actually talk about the DLC that's happening? Dan, I know you.
Uncharted, Claudia
yeah.
Black.
I think that's
Enough said.
enough. And Horizon, look, they didn't show us much, but it's going to be exciting when it comes out. The big one, Days Gone, I want to talk about it a bit more in depth because it left me not as excited as I was previously.
yeah,
But
I agree.
What?
100%.
I'm the opposite. I think last year it looked like shit. This
Barbed
year it's
wire
good.
zombie bears.
I did like
It's
that.
Horizon Zero Dawn with World War Z zombies. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Barbed wire.
So,
Okay, fine.
Benny, why did it get you a bit more excited? What did you
Well,
see in it?
last year it was. Last year I don't think they showed it off very well. They just showed off basically a tech demo for all the zombies. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
That was scary.
This
So many
year they actually
zombies are all
showed us
coming.
what the game was. So that's probably why. It looks like Last of Us crossed with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
What Andrew said before as well is like Horizon Zero Dawn with zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. So that's why I'm more interested in it now because I actually know what the hell it is. It's not just some.
Yep.
It's just not bloody. What's that guy's actor's name? They had
he
last
was
year?
Starkiller
Yeah, Starkiller. He was Starkiller and he was Doomsday in Smallville.
in Super Smallville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't remember his
yeah.
name.
They're showing something this year, whereas last
I almost
year it
didn't
just seemed
recognize him
like
without the
fake
beard.
I don't. It's because beards are amazing.
They are. They make you a new person.
I got rid of mine this afternoon actually for the podcast, so I feel lesser of a man. Sorry. I definitely on this podcast I feel like lesser of a man. So
I always feel that way next to him. Look at that beard.
I know, it's awesome. It's the second best beard on here. A third. Oh no, I can't. No, I'm not rating beards on this. No, this is terrible.
If you're listening to this podcast
Come
and
watch.
you're not watching it live, you're missing out on some amazing beards.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just
Really,
saying
you are.
that.
It'll be up on YouTube very soon anyway. So episode 1 should be up at the moment actually. I don't know. I've had some issues with that. But anyway. Boys, so Days Gone, why did it leave you a little bit lessing wanting it? That's not a good English.
My issue is it just seems like Horizon Zero Dawn with zombies. Because, like, not just in the sense that it's like an open world third person stealth game, but it literally reminded me of Horizon Zero Dawn in so many aspects. Like, oh, I have to hide in this very specific bush to stealth. Oh, and I'm throwing a rock. And I don't know, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, zombie bears, you ruled me back in a little bit, but
Well, look, I've got for my notes. This is exactly my notes. Riding the bike looked fun. Quick time events, yay. Which is sarcastic, by the way. Stealth looks way too obvious. Not impressed by the game at all, to be honest. Oh my god, it's a bear! Ah! So that was.
It's a barbed wire zombie bear.
Oh, it was so good, that bear. But yeah, look, yeah, I don't. Quick time events. Why do we? And then Spider-Man did the same thing, and I was a little bit.
Spider-Man's allowed to.
Makes more sense.
Spider-Man, it made a little bit more sense. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Sam and Dan, either of you got any pressing comments you want to make about Days Gone before we move on?
I mean, I'd like to reiterate my point about the motherfucking barbed wire zombie bear, but I don't know. I mean, you know, it looked better than what we'd seen before.
Yep.
I still need some convincing.
Okay. Dan?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I like that the zombies actually seem a bit scarier in that game. So many games like playing Dying Light at the moment, you see a zombie and you're like,
Yeah.
whatever, I'll just go up, punch it, move on, I don't care. That game, I actually feel like I might actually be scared of zombies. So
Yeah.
that
That's actually a
alone,
very good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, no, they were that's what I liked about the first when I saw it last year. Those zombies look like I'm not going to get out of here. Where
Yep.
this one, like I don't know. That's enough. I've said enough bad stuff about it. Look, then we obviously went into Monster Hunter World. Is anyone actually excited about this besides me?
I was never a Monster Hunter person, so what about
I liked
you
the
like
trailer
Monster
stuff. Break the T-Rex.
I never really got into the series, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just generally aspire to be excited, but I'm not an RPG dude.
Okay.
Really.
Dan, no, yes.
I've finished Dark Souls 3, so I'm looking for something to fill that void. I'm hoping maybe Monster Hunter can fit in there.
Okay. Yeah, Benny, you were trying to talk over before. What was your comment that you?
Sorry, I was just saying that it's got our favourite T-Rex on the
okay.
trailer, so that's what I like.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, he was good.
Some more 8-bit marketing. I like it. Did anyone guess that Shadow of the Colossus was going to get a remake / another game with the same name? No.
Nah.
No one's excited about it either? No.
I mean,
It looks amazing.
I mean, I'll get it, but I'm not gonna lose my shit over it.
Okay.
I've already lost it all.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm kind of, I'm never necessarily excited about remakes, but given that I haven't ever played Shadow of the Colossus and, it's kind of a landmark game, I'm gonna get it, either way, so...
Well, just
I'll
hope...
play a review copy.
Oh, you're a bad man. Okay. Look, Marvel vs. Capcom. Obviously, you boys are excited about this. What was it? It was a cinematic little storyline bit of it.
Yeah, they showed a little cinematic and then they were like, "Oh, look, the demo's out." What I loved was the reaction from the audience. They were just like, "Yeah, good guys." But I mean, even though it looks like crap, because I follow a lot of like Street Fighter and Marvel players on Twitter, and they all can't stop singing the praises for this game, gameplay-wise. And apparently they're gonna fix up the visuals, so I'm on board.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually like a hardcore Mega Man fan from back in the day, and Capcom haven't done anything with Mega Man for like ages.
Yeah.
So just seeing Mega Man in something that's even remotely relevant is a plus for me. So
And apparently he's really good.
Well,
pretty high on the tier list.
Unlike Smash Brothers.
well,
Yeah, but like
So
I mean,
do
Mega
I.
Man X, like the adult awesome Mega Man.
Yeah.
okay. So, any other thoughts on Marvel? Because I'm just, cool. I'm not a fighting fan. I tried to play it.
Thanos.
Benny knows I tried to play it at Netherworld the other day, Street Fighter, and I was just horrible. COD was up next, so they showed the Call of Duty War 2 multiplayer. Yay, cool. Moving on. This was the part I hated the
My
VR.
thoughts exactly.
Very well done. Dude.
Why are they reselling Skyrim again? I don't understand
Because I
that.
feel like that's the Bethesda yearly motto. Have
Yeah.
we sold Skyrim this year? No? Remake.
Did you see the meme? It was now available on your phone, now available on your fridge, now on microwave, now available on your rock. That's the next. That's the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, then there was a few other things. Oh, I'm actually excited about Final Fantasy Fishing, but we won't talk about that any longer because I don't know if any of you guys are. So it looks so
There was
fun.
The Impatient.
Yes, Inpatient.
What a dad recommendation.
That is. Now, Dan, Inpatient, it is the prequel to Until Dawn or Evil
From what
Within.
I'm
Which
told,
one?
it's, Until Dawn.
It is
It's
Until
the mental asylum, which is, 50 years earlier, I think it is?
Yeah.
Which is around the time when the Wendigos started. So the big evil things in Until Dawn, this is where they came from. And so that's why this one's so exciting.
Yeah, spoiler alert for
Just
yeah,
so you know.
that's it.
Yeah.
So look,
It's
I'm.
been out for 3 years. You should
It
have played it
has.
by
I tried to play it, but I couldn't.
It's amazing.
good.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
now. Best game.
So VR, scary. I sold out on that. I'm not going to do it. So, the only other things was Moss looked okay, but Bravo team
But
looked
it's a
like
cute little mousey.
It was,
You get
and
to befriend a little mousey.
It looks cool. I want to know what the hell you're doing in the game.
No, I don't know what that is too. So look, God of War. It was their big. This is what's happening. Probably February, March next year. Now,
Yeah.
looked impressive. looked very pretty and it looked oppressive. The storyline looks like it's going to be pretty cool. What are your guys' thoughts besides what I've said, I guess?
Christopher Judge.
Like I said, I'm just keen because the last games were all Greek mythology, and now they're into Norse mythology, and then like Ragnarok. It looks like you're going to help bring on Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Did you think that was what was the world serpent was
No.
going to come up? No. How big did that
No
thing
idea.
look too?
He threw that axe in the water, and I'm like, he mustn't like that axe. I
I thought it was just gonna come back like I always does.
thought it was gonna Thor his way back to his hand.
Now we talked about it a bit. Any other thoughts though on God of War, because we are probably running a bit over here at the moment. But
Oh yeah, sorry.
that's okay. It's my fault. I'm not. Yeah, Benny.
Well, they confirmed that the kid, I think, is his son. Going by what we watched there, whether or not that means he's going to be like Thor or someone else in the Norse mythology.
That was
I
the
don't know,
original.
because that's kind of what they're leaning.
Yeah, it's the original
Yeah.
idea they put out last year that everyone thought it was Thor, and
Yeah, so I don't know. The whole mythology thing side looks really cool. And beard.
beard. Best beard in video gaming, I think, so far. So.
Yeah.
And Christopher Judge. So
Yeah, it's not super like everything's terrible.
Well, not yet. Maybe. We'll see. I reckon there'll be a throwback to it anyway. So, Detroit Become Human. I enjoyed the bit they showed last year. I thought, this is cool, this is a good way to show it. And then this look like a whole different way to show the game. Like, it was all press this, press that, press this. This was actually looked like a bit of action to it almost. So, a little bit more excited about it, even more than I was last year. So, you guys, did you play Heavy Rain and the other one that was really bad?
I played Heavy Rain, but you played.
I played Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
That's the one,
God,
yes.
that is horrible. It's so bad.
What I like is it's like what you said. It seems like they're straying away from so many quick time events, and it's going towards like you actually have to physically move the character to certain places to do certain things, and it's good to see them to get away from that the QTEs, because I mean they're overdone obviously. So.
Well, they're just not needed. But anyway, like I said, I'm very excited about this game, and I want them to say it's coming out on a certain day so I can get ready for it. But I think it's going to be end of next year thing, unfortunately. Any other thoughts on Detroit before we move on? Benny?
I have one very quick thought, and it's the story that they presented in that trailer. You play the android,
Yep.
and
my God,
so
you
you're
do?
supposed to be sympathetic to that character. And he's leading a revolt against humans. I'm a human.
Yeah, but
Fuck
humans
you,
are doing
robot.
bad things. I'm pretty sure
the
they've
thing,
they've said in the past
Yeah.
you play 5 characters or 5 or 6 characters. So
I
he's
can't recall, but just what they just showed, it from a storytelling point of view, it made me not like that character. I'm
Yeah.
going to be wanting to kill him if that's
But
his
maybe
whole
that's the
purpose is to
plan.
kill humans.
I reckon you'll start off.
Yeah. New robot overlords.
I think
But
you.
that's the thing. It's just from a storytelling point of view. That trailer it
Yeah.
really bugged the crap out of me.
No, I'd follow Marcus wherever he went. I don't care. Whatever he does, I'm going to do whatever he wants to do because he looks pretty cool. Dan,
Dreamy.
any thoughts on Detroit? Are you not interested?
I'm saving it for when it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. It seems like a game you don't really want to spoil for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair call. Sam, before I move on, you don't look that interested.
I mean, it looks okay. I'm a bit more interested than I was in it, previously. And I kind of think that what we saw was a bit, actiony and drama enough to overcome the resistance, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in some aspects of it and not in others.
Okay.
We'll see. We need more stuff.
Well, look, there's a big one that we're big episode 7. I think we're going to do on Destiny 2. So we're all probably going to talk about that later. But that was in there. The biggest mistake of E3 was where they released the wrong date for the release of Destiny 2. It's now coming out 2 days earlier because someone stuffed up. But Spider-Man. Now, Benny, you obviously think it looks a lot like Batman, but Spider-Man. I thought the combat would looked a little bit different, but yeah, I understand where you're going.
Yeah, it was just the stealth mechanics they showed in the trailer, and then the actual combat looked very Batman-y or...
How good was the mine?
Um,
The trip mine
the
that
mo-
he did?
oh,
We-
yeah, that was really cool. But that's the part that looks Batman-y.
Yeah.
And then you got the combat reminds me of Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War.
Which is based on
and-
Arkham Knight.
Which is based on the Arkham series as
Yeah.
well. So that's why it reminds me of Batman. But I really like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's got the second best rogues gallery out of all of comics. So, hey, this could be really good.
What did you think of the chase scene through the city with the quick time events and other bits and pieces that you did?
Well, the quick time events was mostly just that bit with the crane, and then when you're catching the helicopter from falling. The rest of it was player controlled swinging, similar to Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 back in the day.
So this is obviously exciting you, Andrew.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I love Spider-Man 2. And to see that they're like, okay, so we're gonna take the cool stuff from Arkham, and then put like a Spider-Man kind of flavor in it, with oh my god, I'm so fucking cold. I can't contain myself.
But something I didn't really understand, the whole stealth part.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be quiet. Yeah.
No. With Batman, it makes sense because he wears a black costume and it's dark and stuff.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's colors are like bright red and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was broad daylight.
Which is just telling you how impressive his stealth skills are.
That's it.
Bro.
Sammy, are you excited you played the old Spider-Man 2 back in the day?
Yeah, I actually did play a bit of that over at a friend's house and everything. And yeah, I do want, just a little bit more on the mechanics, because for me, the bit that excites me is, moving around as Spider-Man, kind of swing to, grab the thing to and how that flows. And that kind of stuff is very important to me. I think if it can, because I feel like a game, if it can nail down traversal and make it fun, it's already hit it out of the park, because, that's the most boring and the most necessary part of any game. And if you can do that, awesome. And Spider-Man is a character that half his amazing qualities is the fact that he can just so quickly and so fluidly. And if you can capture that properly, I mean, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So at this point, so impressed. You can go a little bit higher, but I'm definitely going to play this game.
Okay, Dan, the big part at the end was this is Miles. Okay, this is not the Peter Parker we've known and not in the movies.
No.
What are you talking about, Ben?
No. Miles.
I don't think it is.
Wasn't it Miles?
Miles is a different character. It's Peter Parker
I
in the
think they
costume.
were teasing Miles.
Yeah,
but I don't
is,
think it
from
was
Ultimate
Miles.
Spider-Man.
Oh, wasn't it? I thought they said at the end. Wasn't that last little clip? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
no,
think
that was him.
taking
So maybe
pictures
they
of
kind of, 'cause
Spider-Man.
they've said Insomniac have said that this is going to be like separate to
Yeah, that's-
it's completely new. So maybe
That's-
it's like a throwback to him. Maybe he's going to be included somehow. Maybe he's like another character or something. I don't know.
So this is what I was trying to get at, Dan. They've separated it completely from the movies. It's not going to be part of the actual anything to do with the movies, and that's a pretty big part of it. Are you excited about that? And anything else about Spider-Man?
The games for Spider-Man have always been a lot better than the movies, like by
Yeah.
a long shot. And we see so many remakes of the movies. You've got the original 3, then you've got the Amazing Spider-Man. We've now got another reboot happening. Whereas the games, they were good successes, and yet it's taken this long for another one. So
But we've had some really bad games too. So
Yeah.
So,
the ones that I've played anyway have been pretty good. It captured Spider-Man as Spider-Man, whereas I feel like the movies sometimes miss the point a bit.
Yeah. So look, it's going to be exciting to see it not part of the. It's still part of not part of the MCU, but it's going to be part of this Marvel thing that they're doing with a lot of other things, but separate game, which is good. This is what I like to see. Now the Sony conference just ended, and everyone's like, "Hey, hang on, what's going on here?" But that was the only other weird part of the whole conference. But that wraps up that. So Nintendo, I've got no notes on Nintendo. There's a couple things that stood out for me. There's the direct overall. Okay, so the direct overall was okay. Gave us what we wanted to know, which was that there's a Pokemon game in the works, there's a Metroid game in the works, and then there's Mario Odyssey and Fire Emblem and Xenoblade.
And Kirby.
And Kirby. I didn't realise that was happening. And I'm like, ooh, this looks pretty cool. Did any of you guys who didn't watch Nintendo, so I won't throw to you?
Yeah, that'd be me.
I started and stopped.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Not having a Switch makes it hard to really be excited for that. I love
Definitely.
Zelda, all that kind of stuff, but I don't own a Switch. I'm not getting one anytime soon, so it was hard to really be invested in that conference.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Did you watched it though, Sammy, didn't you?
Yeah.
What did you think of what they're bringing to the table?
I mean, I wasn't really super into a lot of the stuff they were showing. Fire Emblem looked okay. Mario Odyssey looked okay, if, raising some existential questions about the whole possessing with a hat thing. And I don't know, everything else was just kind of there to me.
Okay.
I was a bit disappointed that they didn't, and I'm hoping that they do it, sometime in the next week or so. But I thought they were going to have an update on like all the indie games they're bringing to the Switch.
Yeah, well, they
didn't
haven't
really touch on that at all.
No, and there is a lot that are coming out that we haven't heard of. Well, we know are
Yeah.
probably coming. We haven't heard from since. So, yeah, that's
My golf story updates, man.
That's out winter, which is, or they said summer for them, so winter. So it's out in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's close. Andrew, Alex, Nintendo, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, we watched it. Oh, jeez, what were your thoughts?
Okay, so I had a feeling they weren't going to show Mario Rabbids because I'm already sold on that anyway. So I was pretty excited about Kirby
Yes.
because the last few Kirby games are like the Crystal Shard and the Woolly blah 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 blah. But this is like old school, like Kirby's Dream Land, but given the Mario Wii U treatment, and that's what I want. 4-player Kirby, happy fun time goodness. And what else did they show? They showed
They showed a little bit about Pokken, and they made that subtle announcement that Game Freak's actually working on like a Pokemon game.
Oh, that wasn't subtle.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't subtle.
Fair enough, it wasn't subtle.
That was, yes, the guy sitting at the desk
yeah.
saying it's definitely
They
happening.
also had the the Metroid Prime 4 title screen.
Yeah.
As well, like.
That's probably about 3 years off, I'd say. By the way, that was literally
Yeah,
just.
Yeah.
yeah, with
Oh.
no gameplay.
Yeah,
Can
I
someone
know, it's
just type-
have a go at that.
Someone just type Metroid Prime 4, please, and make it move. Yeah, excellent. That's it. We're done. Sweet. Yeah. So Benny, look, can you confirm that the 8-bit dinosaur is in Mario Odyssey or not? Is that the same dinosaur?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's posing as Yoshi.
Okay, he's posing as Yoshi. Cool. He's wearing the hat, the Yoshi hat, is he? What are your thoughts on Mario Odyssey? Like, looks strange. That looks extremely strange, but
It does.
fun.
The hat thing's bothered me since they first showed that off at the Switch thing back in January.
Yep.
It just seems creepy to me.
Yeah.
But the world exploring
Super
sounds really
creepy
cool.
Mario.
From,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the world exploring sounds really cool from a Mario 64 standpoint,
Yep.
but the whole hat thing with the eyes and coming to life just
Yeah.
bothers me. And seeing Mario without a hat is weird. I'd rather a Luigi's Mansion, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. Any other thoughts on Nintendo at all? Did you? Because you didn't actually watch much. You didn't watch it at all, did you?
Just give me Luigi's Mansion.
Yep. Just do that. That's fine.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion. That's all I want.
Okay, so look, that's all we really talk about Nintendo. They showed their stuff. It wasn't long. It was only 25 minutes or something like that, which is probably what
Yeah.
some of those third parties could have done, to be honest. But anyway,
Bethesda, I'm looking at you.
let's start with Sammy. Overall impressions of E3 as a whole. It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but also Devolver Digital. Yeah, I mean, quite a lot of the stuff we had, we already kind of knew about, and it was just kind of getting incremental updates. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anything that kind of, lit my fire, so to speak.
What was the best?
Lots of little things to...
What was the best game you saw at or over E3? What was the best thing that jumped out at you the most?
Oh, Wow, that's a hard one. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with maybe Spider-Man.
Yep.
Because, we didn't really know that much. Like, we knew about it, and, we kind of got all this information all at once. So, yeah, I guess that one comes
Okay.
to mind.
So, Dan, I wanted to have this conversation with you at the start, obviously. Why do you think it was so disappointing this year?
So much was coming out beforehand, and even, like we'd seen stuff in last year's E3, God of War, Days Gone, that kind of stuff. But even just like the week beforehand, there were articles after articles after articles telling me about exactly what was going to be at E3. And like you're watching it going, oh yeah, this is going to be cool or whatever. Then you watch the actual E3 conference and you realize that the article just told you everything already. And so it's so hard to really be excited for something you literally just heard a couple of days earlier.
Yeah.
So I think that was the big letdown. And I don't know, I hope next year they can keep a bit more secrets, but with the internet being what it is,
Yeah,
first
it's
time you get
unlikely.
the press out there.
So, I reckon you can count on two hands the amount of things that surprised us at the show. There would have been like a few of the Ubisoft ones, but Beyond Good and Evil 2, Skull and Bones.
Yep.
Was there something in them? Oh, Anthem we'd heard about, but we hadn't seen anything about.
Yeah, it was Project Dylan.
A Way Out from EA.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I think Anthem was the big one because they gave us enough information prior to it to know that something was coming without
Yep.
knowing what was actually coming. And once again, I said E3 is about wanting to know more about a game. And with Anthem, they did the teaser, so you were keen for when they actually release more. Then they give you a trailer showing all this cool stuff, but not giving away everything. And so in the months to come, you're going to find more and more out, and it's going to keep you following that game. Whereas a lot of other games that are going to be a while off, you're already going to know the details. You're not going to be excited when you hear something else.
So, what was your pick of the show as in for a game? Anything that jump out at you the most?
Probably Anthem, just because we
Yeah.
didn't know. Like God of War last year sold me. I didn't need more stuff this year because it was so touching how you see Kratos, he was a bit of he didn't have much of a story with the character. They wrote it in there, but when you were playing it, you didn't feel it.
Yep.
Whereas watching last year's E3, the way he reacted with his son, that was huge. That was such a big change, and it shows how it's evolving. And
Yeah,
so I was
definitely.
already sold on that, and I'm still very, very excited for that.
Okay, Benny, your thoughts of E3 overall? I know you've got the man on the inside over there that's been telling you all the extra goss. How drunk did he get most nights?
From all reports, pretty fucking drunk.
I can imagine.
Overall, yeah, pretty average E3. Nothing terribly exciting. You guys hit the nail on the head. We knew a lot about what was coming prior to it actually happening. A few more surprises would have been cool.
Yep.
Overall, game of the show for me was Anthem.
Yep.
Easy. Announcement that I'm most excited about at the moment is probably Cuphead's release date because we're actually getting a release date.
And we're going to devote half an episode to that down the track as well, so keep it locked here for sure. Okay, Alex and Andrew, how do you think E3 went overall?
Considering that I thought half of those conferences weren't going to be as good as they were, I was pleasantly surprised. But a few days prior, I heard of rumors that Arc System Works were making like a Dragon Ball Z game, and then they're like, oh, here's some footage of it, and I'm like, oh Jesus! So I think I need that in my life.
You do. You and Perko have not stopped talking about that game then for ever since. That's all he talked about on the Megacast last week was just this Dragon Ball Z game that I couldn't care less about. But anyway, that's
looks
cool.
amazing.
It looked really good, but I'm not a fighting fan, so I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. See, I love it. I love it.
Actually, I'm not into anime and I'm not into fighting, so it really didn't tick any of my
Oh wow,
boxes.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll say no more.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z is your game of the pick, or you got something better than that?
Followed very, very closely by Mario Rabbids, which is something I never thought I'd say in my life.
Oh, that looks so bad going into it, and then all of a sudden it was really good. Look, overall disappointing E3 because, like I said, you've all said it. We knew everything, and Ubisoft in particular is like, oh, here's Far Cry 5. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed. got written up. The article got released by someone before the actual presentation, so we knew everything. Anthem, it's just amazing. I'm already in a community at the moment talking about it every day. Probably going to be having some kind of a podcast in the future about it. It's just dragged me right in. It's Destiny 2, but looks even better because the stuff they've unveiled about it since looks even more
And it's got
exciting.
it's got the lead writer from Mass Effect 2 now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's what made me even more excited.
Star Wars: Knight of the Old Republic. So they've got that. They've got the composer back from that as well. So it's by far the best thing for me. So that wraps up our E3 two-parter. We are just on an hour, so we'll quickly go around. I'll start up top again. Sammy, where can people find you? What are you excited about? And any plugs you want to do?
Okay, so if you want to follow my Twitter and stuff, Sammy Deege, which will be like up down there, but it's SAMMYDEEDGE.
That's it.
For my Twitter, or for my YouTube, it's XDeege. And I actually just released a new episode of the Vivid Geekcast talking about The Witness and Rhymes, so feel free to check that out.
Sweet.
Yes.
Dan,
This person.
where can people find you and what are you excited about or what you're doing?
So Twitter is the Soap Podcast. Facebook, you find us the Slightly Offensive Australian Podcast, the full name of the podcast. That's where we normally engage on people. We'll link all our YouTube, SoundClouds, all that kind of stuff on there. So definitely hit us up on there. We try and get an episode out weekly. We have had a few illnesses, so we're a little bit behind. But grab us on there. Give us any recommendations, feedback. We love hearing it all.
That's it. Benny, where can people find you and what are you doing at the moment?
Okay, at the moment, I'm in Melbourne. Yay!
Yay.
Say hi to mate.
Find me on Twitter at thespawny13. You can find the rest of my stuff at weare8bit. You can buy a really cool shirt if you're watching the video. Looks like this. From designbyhumans.com/shop/weare8bit. There's plenty of really cool designs there. Go check them out. And you can check out the Hungry Gamers podcast and the Flashpoint podcast.
Excellent. Andrew and Alex, tell us about yourselves. Where can people find you?
So we have just recently recorded today our 53rd episode of our A Couple of NPCs gaming podcast, just a general gaming podcast, which very, very frequently derails.
Yeah, how all good podcasts should.
But you can find us on all social media and basically everywhere at A Couple of NPCs. We stream every weekday from 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can follow me personally at aclay1788. I talk about stupid things.
That's
On
perfect.
Instagram and Twitter.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can follow me at blueshift77 on Instagram Twitter as well.
Okay, cool.
And,
Yeah, so you can find me, Wilco's Chill Zone, on all the things. So Twitter, Twitch, all that kind of stuff. You can find AGP Network on Facebook and on Twitter is where you can find all of us. And ultrasupermega.com.au is where I do all my writing and put all the podcasts up, including the Megacast, including Locked On, the Tom Clancy podcast, and including Pokecast. Did I miss one? Not yet. No. Okay, so that's all the places you can find me, and you can jump on our Discord whenever you want. And we do Friday Fight Nights every second Friday now on my Twitch, which we did Overwatch on Friday night, and it was amazing. And we might do something this Friday because I'll move podcasts around. But that's it. I'm going to not waffle anymore. We're going to close this out. This has been Super Hype Train episode 2. Look out next week for Shadow of War. We're going to go in depth with Shadow of War for 1 hour, and we're going to talk all about how good it looks. So till next week, guys, stay hyped. Okay, so I can press stop.